Okay, well, let's get going. Well, thank you very much to everyone for coming on to the presentation. It's all about AAB. My name's Ian Abernethy. I look after early careers for the business. So I'm really pleased to be here today to be just giving you some information and some insight about AAB, who we are as a firm. It's pretty relaxed in respect to what we want to cover, and there's going to be opportunity at the very end to ask some questions, and we're going to try and make this as interactive as we can. So please do ask questions, and if anyone's got questions after the event that you wanted to follow up on, you can link in with me on LinkedIn, and happy to follow up with any questions there. I'm also really pleased to have Jack. Jack is, I think, looking very, very happy because Jack has recently completed all his exams. And we're going to have a bit of a Q&A with Jack as we go through, just to give you guys a bit of an insight into what it's like to study for the ICAS studies. But let's start off with something that will give you an insight into the business, and that is the quiz. We've got a quiz that we want to run through. So I will just see if I can get that moving onto my slide. So if you can see this slide here, if you get your phones out, you can either access the quiz via the QR code, or you can go into Slido and put that code in. And once you've put the code in or accessed it via the QR, you type your name on, and your name will appear on the next slide. And the good news is that there's going to be a prize for this quiz, and we'll get the name of the winner at the end. So there may be that everyone gets all the questions right, but it's fastest finger first in terms of who will be winning the prize. So if you could begin entering your name into that quiz, we can get started. That's great, seeing them all coming in. We do have people from ICAS on the call as well. And last year, Poppy was successful in winning the quiz. Poppy and Ross, you can take part, but the bad news is you can't win this year. Well, you're not going to win the prize. Got to give it to one of the students. Okay, so I think let's get going with the quiz. A good number of folk have signed up, and let's go with question number 1. So you've got 20 seconds to answer this question. So please make your choice. And was the first AAB office in Aberdeen a converted church, barn, or converted casino? Make your choice as quick as you can. 5 seconds. So let's see. The answer was the church. So well done to those who've got that right. Next one, Emma is the audit manager working with us in our Edinburgh office, also a Scotland rugby internationalist. How many caps does Emma have? Oof. Well, 73 is the right answer. Emma's doing fantastically well with Scotland, and well done to those who got that correct. Which one of the following sportsmen is not a client of a Leeds office? Cricketer Jack Peterson, footballer Calvin Phillips, footballer Jack Grealish, or cricketer Ben Stokes? Yeah, you got that right. Jack Grealish is not a client as it stands. You never know what's going to happen in the future. So AAB is a big deal for us within the business. It's our charitable initiative. How much have we raised through the AAB Ball since 2023? And the correct answer is £200,000. Which of the following are not clients of AAB? The Fratellis, Nike, or Gucci? Nike is not a client of AAB. And the meeting room in our London office is called, is it Dungeon, the Shard, or the Gherkin Room? And it's the Gherkin Room. So we have a winner, and it's Emily. Marcus, Emily, what to do if you want to put in your email address into the chat? We will be in contact with you afterwards to forward the prize on to you. And well done for everyone for taking part, and thank you for doing so. So let's move on now to this is a next section I'm going to show you. It's just a short video, like it's about a minute. It just gives you a really energetic view into AAB and who we are as a business. But let's see if we can get this playing. So yeah, video, a really energetic video, just gives you a bit of a feel for us as a business. And there's a couple of things we want to highlight in respect to what's important to us. And the key thing, and hopefully the most important thing for yourself, is that that people are the most important aspect of AAB. We're very much a business that look to support the development of our team members, whether they're going through training or whether they're completed, and just make sure that people are the best possible professionals that they can be from a technical and also from a people perspective. And clearly the next really important part are our clients. And you'd seen on the video there, if you caught it, our net promoter score is very, very high in industry average. What that basically means is that we're doing a decent job for our clients. They're valuing the service that we provide, and that's something that we're not looking just to sit on. We're looking to continue improving that all the time. As we work together in teams, so we've got to collaborate, and that makes a difference. Collaboration is huge for us as a business, and how we work together with regard to respecting and trusting each other is also very, very key. We're active in our local communities, and you're going to hear a little bit more about AAB, our charitable initiative, in a moment or two, and that will just bring it to life. But the other key thing is we're obviously all working hard. We're doing our best with regard to delivering to our clients and making sure that we're great colleagues, but we also like to have a little bit of fun along the way, and we're quite a sociable business, and that takes lots of different guises. So on to our journey so far. So some people might know Aberdeen. Aberdeen is the base for AAB, as we'd seen earlier on. The church was the foundation back in the day, in the early 90s, and we've been on a significant journey since early 90s. And you can see there where the growth has come. We are a PE-backed business, now ranked in the top 25 firms. You can see the number of clients, the number of people that work for us, locations, service lines, and the fee income. And we have got a pretty aggressive growth plan over the next 3-4 years. We're looking to get that figure of 105 up to around about 400 million in the overall income that the business is going to generate in turnover, and that is pretty ambitious. But I think that also shows just how exciting it is to be with us as a firm, and I think that leads on really nicely to the next section. That's going to be with Jack. And what I think I'll do is I will stop sharing my screen from there, and I'll just get Jack. I think you can see Jack on the screen now, so that's fine. That works quite nicely. So this is just a short Q&A with Jack and myself, and I'll just let Jack introduce himself, and then I'll go into a couple of questions about his experience.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. So yeah, hi, my name's Jack, and I'm recently qualified chartered accountant, having studied with ICAS. I've spent the past 3 years in the audit department here at AAB in Glasgow, where I trained and qualified.
Thanks, Jack. So if I was a student, what I'd be wanting to find out is just how hard is it? I'm going to start with a difficult question. It's how hard is it to study for professional exams?
It's definitely tough. Juggling full-time work and studying isn't always easy. If you've had a part-time job at uni, that's kind of some insight into what that can be like. You do need to be quite strict sometimes with yourself. I found things like study plans made it easy to stay on top of revision. But everyone's different, and you'll have study techniques and things that work for you that you've developed through school and uni. The good thing is there's plenty of support. The firm provides study leave. You'll have peers who are on the course and colleagues who have just gone through the process as well. And I found everyone was really, really supportive and helpful, which makes a huge difference.
And how about, as an extension of that, juggling the home life, the social life with work and studies?
Yeah, again, it is tough, and sometimes there are sacrifices, but it's still really important to make that time to kind of relax and switch off, and finding a good balance is pretty key. There are plenty of chances to relax with colleagues. So we have lots of social events, Christmas parties, summer events. There's office running clubs, and just other kind of social activities that are organised throughout the year, which really help you kind of unwind and get to know people outside of work.
Yeah, and I've been involved with students over the years. I think you've absolutely got to have that opportunity to break from studies. You can't always be studying. You need to have that time away, and whether that's going for a walk with your dog, playing golf, meeting up with your pals, playing an instrument, doesn't matter. Just take time away from studies. You need to be fresh when you get back to it. So if you were able to give one piece of advice, Jack, to anyone who's thinking about applying, maybe to AAB or possibly even wider, but what advice would you give to anyone in that position at the moment?
I think it's just pretty important to kind of be yourself through the application process. Important to do your research first of all, into the firm, into the service line that you're thinking of applying to. With the AAB process, the elevator pitch or the video type interview and the actual interview itself are probably the two best opportunities for that to come through and to show why you'd be a good fit.
Perfect. Thanks, Jack. Really appreciate those words, and hopefully the people who've been listening here find that useful as well. So I'm going to move on to the next slide, and that is about AAB. So just as mentioned earlier on, AAB is our charitable initiative. We've got a board of trustees who help us with regard to distribution of the funds. The great thing about this is that it's a charitable initiative that's been set up, and we're able to, and we do support good causes in our area. And you can see there that whilst we've raised a couple £100,000 through the AAB ball so far, overall we've raised £436,000, and that's been put directly back into local communities. And people make applications, and then our trustees decide whether that money will be donated. The other thing from a team member perspective is that you can also have a day that you volunteer and you go out and you support a cause that is either close to your heart or you go out as a group. But that's nice to do, and we feel even beyond nice to do, it's an important thing for us to do because these are the communities that we work in. Here's a picture of the most recent event, which took place in Leeds, and there's some people who went to this event where we raised over £45,000, and that added to 200,000 and has helped us to support the charities you can see there. And here's some of the activities that we get up to through some of the social that Jack had mentioned there, but also some of the AAB activities. So whether it's helping one of the top photos there, helping to pull together Christmas parcels and such like, or helping with clearing on a farm. There's just lots of different activities. There's no one definite thing that we would do. We can do anything that's of interest and of value to the community. Turning on to service lines, we have got a huge range of service lines that we have our professionals working in, from audit in the top there to wealth management, and we've got positions in most of these areas. In terms of sectors that we work in, we again have a really broad base of clients within the sectors you can see there. I'm not going to go into too much detail with regard to the sectors or the type of business units, because all the information is on the website, which you can go in and get more detail there. And again, as I said earlier on, if you want any more specific information, just get in contact afterwards with myself, and I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. With regards to the early careers opportunities for grads and interns, which I think possibly most people on here will be looking at, they are closing and the date's noted there. We also work closely with Robert Gordon University, and that's for a placement scheme, and their closing date, if anyone's on the call, will be the end of this month. And we've also got the school leaver programme. If anyone's interested in that particular programme, that'll be opening up at the end of January. So we have for the entry requirements and the application process, we've got some points in there which hopefully might help you in terms of how you pull your application together. So the application process itself, we've got online application form, and for those applying for the graduate scheme, we've got a job focused application a scheme there. Then there's an elevator pitch, interview, and job offer. Our process, we feel, is really quite straightforward, and we like to see the candidates really getting an opportunity to tell a bit more about themselves, and for us to really trying to get to know the candidates, which is what we're saying here. We just want to get to know you. So advice we would give you, and Jack covered it really well earlier on, it's effectively do your research. So this is obviously AAB, but there'll be other firms you'll be looking into, and I'd really recommend that you do look into other firms and just find a business that you feel suits you with regard to values, where you think you're going to get the best support, best training, and even beyond training, best onward opportunity for your career. So be looking into why the business, which area of the business you're particularly keen on. If you're not sure, that's absolutely fine. You could put that in your application and say, I'm open to a number of opportunities. And also the professional qualification. Obviously, we're talking about ICAS, so what we would expect you to do, to have an understanding of, do you have exemptions? What are the 3 ICAS levels? We don't really expect you to know massive detail, but just have a feel for what you're getting yourself involved in. Because again, as Jack had said, these exams are not straightforward. You need to really work hard at them. The rewards are definitely there, but you need to be committed as you go through the process. And the last slide, which is a really nice event we had back at the end of August, we had our 75 or so students join us in Edinburgh for our induction event, and that was just to welcome them into the business. And these are students that came across from Ireland, England, Scotland, and give them a great start into their AAB journey. So that was everything I was going to cover, and I'll just ask if there's any questions that come through, anything at all that that you'd want to ask Jack or myself. Okay. See, Emily has put her email address in there, and we will get in contact with Emily. Maybe Poppy, that's it, is it? Cool. But there's a question there from Julio. Is that where would the interview stage take place? So interviews we appreciate sometimes that interviews may need to be remote, as in via Teams, but the vast majority of interviews, if we can help it at all, would be in the office where the candidate has been looking to get the job. So if you're looking for a position within, let's say, Aberdeen office, I would say that ideal would be that you come to Aberdeen and meet with our team there, because that gives you a chance to kind of get a feel for the office as well. So it'd be in person and ideally in the office that you're going to be working in. We've got vacancies. The next question is from Marisa. Our vacancies mostly in Scotland. We've got vacancies across Ireland. We've got vacancies in England from Bolton, Leeds and London, and obviously within Scotland as well. Does this presentation count as a CPD point? If so, how many? Depending on your profession, but for ICAS, okay. ICAS, no. Okay. Righty-ho. What is time duration for vacancy process roughly? So we have got, Carly, thank you for your question. We have got applications, let's say if we're talking about graduates, opened up earlier in September. The closing date is the 31st of October. We're obviously reviewing applications as it stands at the moment. And we expect to be in contact with you at the latest by mid-November, just to let you know how things are going. We're dealing with quite a high volume of applications, which is great for us. It's obviously a competitive process.
Ian, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining us today, for yourself and Jack. Thanks to all the students who joined with their questions. And I believe that you'll both be on the stand this afternoon if they wanted to come and have direct conversations.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I would say, yeah, we come on and have a chat with Jack and myself, or we've got another colleague, John, who's also going to be available to chat to.
Fantastic. Thank you again. It was a really useful presentation, and we look forward to catching up with you later. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.